So welcome to Utter Loyalty. We have a new episode today and I'm joined by the fabulous Suzanne Calder and she's from VoucherCodes. Suzanne, I am very passionate about the fact that loyalty needs to be more than just a exchange of value, and that actually in order to build a relationship with a customer, you're opening an opportunity to have a conversation, aren't you? And to build a relationship.
Absolutely.
And I know that you're passionate about this too. So what do you think the formula is to get that right?
The formula is more of kind of what not to do rather than a formula to get it right.
What not to do?
Or it's not to follow the pack. It's about not just running with a points and tier program because the business thinks that you should. It's about understanding your customers' needs, not through asking them what they want out of a loyalty program, but understanding their behaviours and who they are through insight, through data, and then structuring something around those needs.
Yeah.
Because 95% of our purchase decisions are made through our subconscious. And that's a lot.
Wow.
Yes. And we need to kind of play in that subconscious area. We need to make them feel, it's essentially it mirrors a human relationship. There needs to be a mutual benefit to them engaging with you.
Right.
There needs to be mutual value, but also mutual values. So they won't engage with you connect with you on a deeper level if they don't believe in or understand what it is that you're about as a brand.
Yeah.
So it's about getting that brand purpose at the core. It's about laddering everything you do within loyalty up to that brand purpose so that there's not
a disconnect between the brand and the loyalty.
I mean, and
there's
it often happens,
many that are just a bolt-on, right?
Exactly, because because of the fact that loyalty is a long-term play, businesses are obviously all about the short-term gain. And so loyalty often gets kind of pushed to the side. I was really pleasantly surprised when I joined VoucherCodes because actually the MD was so into loyalty and understood about it. It was the first, because I've been in previous businesses where it does just get treated like that. And she just completely understood the impact it could make, kind of rallied the whole business around it and kind of developed it from there. But it is, so at VoucherCodes, I haven't created a points or tier program. It's got a kind of balanced blend of benefits that seeks to understand who these members are, first and foremost, through zero-party data. And I've kind of added in a gamification layer, which through kind of fun quizzes and games allows us to kind of get an understanding of their lifestyle. For me, it's not a transactional, functional play, because that is, they'll leave you. They'll go, I always use the analogy of coffee shops on the high street. So if you have a favourite coffee shop, it might be Costa, Starbucks, others are available. And it's like half a mile down the road and there's a competitor much nearer to you. Are you going to go down the road
Are you going to go that extra distance?
Yeah. And that's where you want to get to. And the only way you'll get to that is by demonstrating that you value them and you get them. You understand them. You're not just after their money. And it's about how you can show value in the non-purchase parts of the cycle, how you can demonstrate to them that you're interested in them.
You care.
Yeah, that you care, and having open conversations, valuing their feedback, their input, their engagement. So I've just created a loyalty scoring method.
Oh, really?
Which I'm very excited about because I've been going on about it for years to anyone that would listen. And it's essentially a segmentation within the loyalty program. Now we've got we've been going for 2 years. There's about 400,000 members. And obviously there's only a certain percentage of those that are actually kind of active and high value. So I want to understand that value not just on a transactional layer, but actually on an entire interaction with us as a brand.
Yeah.
So we took every single interaction with us that we could think of.
Really?
And you
scored all those?
We've scored them, given a weighted score, dependent on how the priority of that interaction to us. And then we've standardized that out of 100. And so we've created kind of 4 different cohorts within.
And they all have their own, I guess, journey from
Yes.
a personalisation point
Yes.
of view, CRM point of view. Okay.
But we've kind of standardised them into 4 pots so that we can at least start to create more targeted, relevant behaviour nudges. And it's not about, there's a large percentage of low value who just don't even make transactions. So why would we bother spending time pushing kind of transactional messages to them? We need to get them to engage. Mm-hmm. And it's about, it's a holistic view, because I believe the loyalty thing is holistic. It's not just transactional.
It's a 360 degree.
Yeah. It has to involve, and it has to feel like an honest, mutual relationship.
I've talked in another episode about trust.
Yeah.
It is about trust.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get back if you mess it up.
And this is the thing, I think a lot of the transactional behaviours that we try and elicit from our loyalty members, I mean, not us personally, but in general, because that's what the businesses focus on, that, understandably, but they don't understand that it's the long game. And I think, there's often a need within the businesses to kind of reset expectations in terms of the key metrics that are vital to a customer's loyalty versus either just foundational metrics or vanity metrics. Mm-hmm. And being okay with, obviously in the first year of a program, for example, you need to build the member base. So that's an important KPI in year 1.
That's your base level, isn't it?
When you get to kind of year 3 and you've kind of saturated your requests to join, and actually if people haven't joined yet, they probably don't want to. And there's a reason why. And we have to be okay with that. Yeah. And this is what I say to the business. It's not about now how many members we've got. It's about how many of them are active every month. It's about what's the quality. Exactly. And so, we need to focus on driving greater behaviour from those that are the most engaged, because that's where we'll get the most value. Yeah. Financially and otherwise, in terms of kind of retention and lifetime value.
And we talked a bit earlier about the role of psychology.
Yes.
And I'd like you to share with our listeners what you picked up today about the role of psychology.
Yeah. So essentially it's kind of what I mentioned at the start, that rather than try and understand customers' conscious motivations, that might be by asking them what they want to see in a loyalty program. They will always talk about discounts and things like that, because their rational, functional mind goes to that. Well, I want to be saving money. I want you to give me money. But actually that doesn't engender loyalty. It's about tapping into their unspoken, unconscious needs and desires, and understanding through kind of a bit of neuroscience the processes and of how the brain works, what it responds to, how quickly it responds to those messages, and and it's kind of indisputable. So there's no point kind of hitting them with loads of words when actually they're going to make a decision on something within 0.03 seconds.
Like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you kind of have to understand it's not about you or your brand, it's about them. And it's about how can we make our brand part of their
fabric of their life.
Yeah. And it's about understanding what they want and then designing something, but through the insight and the data, and then designing something, creating something and optimizing something around those needs, which will be fluctuating in themselves dependent on their kind of life stage as well. And so, and that way you're kind of not asking them to design the loyalty program. You know, there's no point saying, do you want to see discounts? Do you want this? They'll just kind of go, yes, no, yes, no. They, you know, they just kind of go, yeah, whatever. But that's a very fleeting, fickle way of behaving. So they will just as easily turn around and get a discount from someone else because you're just off, you know, they'll take what they want, they'll take the freebies and they'll take they need something, and they need something meaty that they can align with and understand, and that makes them feel like they're in control, like they have a choice. So I don't think auto-enrollment is a good thing in the slightest, because it just leads to so much passive engagement and warped metrics. But making them feel they have a choice, being consistent, making them feel valued. And it's not just a kind of one-way street. We're not just kind of expecting them to kind of, you know, not just flinging a points program at them and go, yeah, there you go, just use it, shop with it, spend and get, because that doesn't,
With all of that said, who do you think's doing a good job? Is there anyone?
I mean, well, there are brands that are doing a more balanced approach. So actually the North Face with their Explorer Pass, I love. I think actually a lot of the kind of sport brands do it well because
they seem to have a real understanding of their customer,
and it's about, they can also more easily connect their customers because they actually all have the same passion.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy then to create community around those passions. And I think, that, you know, if it's like Wiggle, I think it's the bike brand, Wiggle, you know, it's about creating something that people are passionate about. There was a brand, I don't even know if they still do it, but this was years ago, called Tribe, the protein bars.
Oh, yes.
And Tribe being community, but they had a, you know, it's not really talked about, it's not a loyalty program, but for every product bought, there's a certain percentage that goes to charity, and the founders set up these kind of treks that they started to go on for charity, and then they invited community members to kind of go with them, and it became a movement. Because it's kind of like, this is something single-minded that these people are passionate about. The brand understands that. So I think those kinds of loyalty initiatives, whether they're programs or not, where you can actually tap into a real single-minded, passionate hobby, I think they work well, and they can develop their own communities quite easily, I think, as well, in terms of
sense of
peer-to-peer relationships.
It's coming out strong, isn't it, at the moment for a lot of people? Yeah.
It's something that it's been on my roadmap for a few years, and like nearly get there. I'm like, this year I want.
So what's next? What's on the map for 2026?
Well,
for you?
community.
Like funny say. That.
Because I feel like this is where. So we've got our kind of conversation with them. It's not just about letting them get on with spending points or whatever, but actually we want there to be a kind of real trust building exercise between peers within the program. So sharing, you know, where they've seen a great discount on a certain brand within VoucherCodes, or any pitfalls or tips and things like that. It just feels like people that are VoucherCodes shoppers are savvy.
They're intrinsically
they know what they know how
talking
to
about
find
psychology.
Yes.
Yeah, they really are. Aren't
and
they?
so it's kind of like, let's harness that.
Harness it, yeah.
Because these people talking to each other about that is going to be much more powerful than us telling them.
Yeah.
So the trust then will grow, and the halo effect will be, hopefully, more trust in us as a brand.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately where we want to be, because that means they'll stay with us through thick and thin. They won't leave if a better discount comes up somewhere else, because they know that they are treated in a way that makes them feel valued. And connected.
And acknowledged for
Yes.
their commitment.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Well, I very much look forward to your
We'll see.
2026, and
Well,
let's
crossed.
get you back to find
Yeah.
out whether you've done it.
Yes, that would
Thanks
be
so
great.
much.
Thank you, Emma. Thanks.